So we're in Vilnius. I'll read a short prose piece. It's called Return of the Bird. It takes place in my flat. There's a silverfish here, which for the Lithuanians, it's a little insect. It's not silverfish, but silverfish that eats clothes. So this is a little prose piece. It comes in a little book illustrated. Return of the Bird. It was the first day of spring. Opening a window, a bird flew in to escape the snow. It was too hot inside from the central heating. I was cooking hard-boiled eggs and olives. My wife was writing her memoirs in her wisteria blue bubble bath. The bird flew back out the window to escape the heat. The neighbor knocked on the door 7½ times to signal it was really the neighbor and that he wanted to borrow some vodka. I looked out the peephole, but all I could see was the back half of a dog. It was peeing on the me on the welcome mat. I took one of the eggs out of the pot with a spoon, peeled it and cut it in half, opened the door and pelted the rear end of the dog 2 times. Simultaneously, the bird flew in through the door and plopped straight into the wisteria blue bubble bath with my wife. She got frightened, fled the bathroom, followed by a silverfish, climbed up out of the window, followed by the same silverfish, and onto the roof. There were 3 men at the peak of the roof trying to take the rainbow-colored Christmas tree lights off of the TV antenna. The roof was slippery and covered with snow. They were so startled they fell off, almost in slow motion. And in unison, one of them severed the dog, which by some miracle had become whole, into 2, of course, very dissimilar parts. One half scampered away barking in one direction, and one half went crapping in the other. Another of the workmen landed on my neighbor, who always knocked 7½ times when he wanted to borrow vodka. And the third, clutching the lights, kept on falling but never landed. My wife became a weather vane. The bubble bath became a black sea of ink. The bird was circling the room in dismay. I closed the window and decided never to look back out again. In its panic, the bird broke the thermometer and so solved the problem of overheating. It's teaching me to sing and say, "Pretty boy," so it gets stimulated and lays lots of eggs. I hard-boil them, and we share supper at the table together, the most generous of couples. This one goes back to when I lived in the mountains of Pennsylvania for many, many years. I wrote most of my poetry, lots of my poetry there, but I wrote lots of poems for robins. This is just a short piece for a robin. I've written another poem since then for robins here, but this is a piece there for robins called Robin. The robin's breast must be full of blood. He gets up early and slurps the red worms. He smashes his soul on a mash of berries and frost. He mates with the moon on its joyride in the grass. And in the days of his youth, he ate the sun climbing the mountain. And one poem from the balcony where I am in the ghetto, and I often sit there and I've written, not written, but taken notes and sort of conceived many poems there. So I'll do that and then close with a short poem. This is called Looking Out. The outside north, looking in, that expanse of light filling my eyes in the room, an ideal light, I'm told, for making images of the world. That may be. There's nothing painterly about me. Instead, I stand here in this script, looking out at the Athens of the north, the chimney tops and bricks, the smoke, the bone ash pastel of dusk's nondescript brushstroke. The faucet drips haphazardly. Stray tomcat spray marks the entranceway, so that nowadays the angel of death stays away, as do the seraphim and Purim puppet plays. Evenings getting dark now. and my hungry eye barely makes out the drab zodiacs of antennae. The moon sets to the side of the frame, felt but unseen. Planets are playing charades as satellite discs, barely audible, dirges and debooks hum in the shoal of the urban buzz of time and space and emptiness. And I listen as best I can, locked inside myself, unknowable, smoldering, motionless, looking out. And I'll close with a short poem that I wrote some time ago, but the wolf is the symbol of the city of Vilnius. I don't pronounce wolf very well, it sounds like woof woof, but anyway, here we go. Threshold. Why should anyone go to count sheep by 3 a.m.? There's plenty of time to kill later, avoiding the sun. And if I installed sleep now for the sheer recycled boredom of life, how could I open the door for the wolf? Thank you.